For this video, we will be finding the exact values of each trigonometric function. So, trigonometric function is your trig function, which is basically the sine, cosine, and tangent function. Right? As you can see, I've written down what is tan, cosine, and sine. So, sine is y, okay? Cos is x, and tan is y over x, okay? So, this basically means that when you look at an ordered pair, right, like ordered pair is x comma y. So let's take for example like 2 comma 5. We know that x is going to be cosine and then y would be sine. But we're not, for this video, we're not looking at ordered pairs. We're looking at the unit circle and trig values, finding what exactly is that trig value. So for question 1, we have tan of theta. Okay, when we look at this, we look at tan of theta, so it gives us a degree right here, which is 6 degrees. So they are saying that tan, we want to find what tan of 60 degree is. Okay, we have a unit circle, but gratefully I have a unit circle right here on the top right of the screen. As you can see, by looking at the unit circle is really helpful in finding our values. So when we look at 6 degrees is in quadrant 1. Okay, this line right here, this is 6 degree, and which is pi over 3. Okay, let's look at the order pair of this, or the coordinate of pi over 3 on 6 degree, which is, for our x is 1/2 comma root 3 over 2. So I label up here x comma y. So for this, we're finding what tangent, and which we're gonna use this one. Tangent is y over x. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this coordinate for this point and divide it. What I mean over here, this is how I would do. I would like write like tan equals y over x. Y is root 3 over 2. Now we're gonna be dividing, okay? Because this is divided by x. X is 1/2. Okay, if you don't know how to divide when you have fractions, I will show you right here. So when you have fractions, you keep this same. This is like in the numerator, you keep that the same. So let's write it down here. Root 3 over 2. We keep that the same. But for the bottom one, 1/2, we had to flip it to be the reciprocal. We multiply by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is just 2 or 1. But let's just write 2 or 1 to keep it organized. Okay, now when we have fractions like this, without multiplying, we just multiply it across. So 2 times root 3 is just 2 root 3, and then 2 times 1 is just 2. But 2 in numerator and denominator cancel out, so that leaves us to our answer that is root 3. So our exact value for this, for tan of 60 degree, is root 3. For question 2, we have sine of 225 degrees. Okay, let's write that. Sine of 225 degrees. Okay. Now, we know this is in quadrant 3, okay, but we don't know what coordinate is this, so let's go to our unit circle. Okay, let me just change this color to red. Okay, so 225 degrees is right here, which is 5 pi over 4, and the coordinates are negative root 2 over 2, comma, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so let's write that down. Sine equals, which is, sine is y right here, okay, so basically this answer is simple. So let's look at our y, which is negative root 2. But let's see. So there's something you remember whether if sine is positive or negative in this quadrant. So I say, like, we say all students take calculus, okay? Remember that phrase to help you memorize which trig function is positive in what quadrant. So in quadrant 1 is all positive. Quadrant 2 is sine is positive, while tangent and cosine are negative. Quadrant 3, tangent is positive, while sine and cosine are negative. In quadrant 4, cosine is positive, while sine and tangent are negative. So for this one, we can just keep our answer negative root 2 over 2, because in quadrant 3, sine is negative. So our answer for sine of 225 degrees is negative root 2 over 2. For question 3, we have sine of 90 degrees. Okay, so let's write down sine 90 degrees. So looking at our unit circle, 90 degrees right here, and sine to sine is the y value of this. Sine of 90 is just 1. So for question 3, sine of 90 is 1. For question 4, we have cosine of 150 degrees. So cosine of 150 degrees. Let's look at our unit circle, which is right here. And cosine is x, the coordinate. So cosine 150 degrees is negative root 3 over 2. Okay, and that would be our answer for cosine 150 degrees, which is negative root 3 over 2. For question 5, we have cosine of 270 degrees. So without the diagram of showing where the degree is, it's pretty much the same by using the unit circle to help us find this exact value of cosine of 270 degrees. So if I look at the unit circle right here, 270 degrees, cosine would be 0. So cosine of 270 degrees would be 0 as our exact value. Question 6, we have sine of 300 degrees. So let's look at the unit circle right here. Sine is y, okay? So sine of 300 degrees is negative root 3 over 2, which is going to be our exact value. Question 7, we have sine of pi over 4. So now this is in radians now, not in degrees anymore. Okay, but it is still the same. Okay, we use the unit circle to help us find that exact value. So pi over 4 is 45 degrees. This is right here, pi over 4. And since sine is y, pi of 4 of sine of pi over 4 is going to be root 2 over 2. Now this is going to be our exact value of pi over 4. Okay. Now let's take a look at cosine of negative 17 pi over 3. Okay, now this is a little bit different. Okay. Since this is negative 17 pi over 3, we have to look at this. What degree is this? Okay, so since I don't see negative 17 pi over 3 or 17 pi over 3, I could just turn this from radians to degrees. So let's do that. Negative 7 pi over 3 times 180 over pi. The pi's cancel out. Now we're left with negative 17 times 180, which is negative 3060 over 3, and divide that by 3, and then we get it to be negative 1020 degrees. Okay, which this is a lot. Okay, let's just consider this. Let's find the reference angle of this. Okay, so this is 3 pi over 3, this is 6 pi over 3, which is going to be 2 pi. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one full circle. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. So this is going to be 17 pi over 3 right here. 17 pi over 3 is actually not here. It is going to be right here. Right here. It's going to be right here. But it's going to be touching this point of the unit circle. 17 pi over 3 right here. Alright. You could draw a reference angle to the x-axis to know how far it is, which is going to be pi over 3. But this point right here, if you look at our unit circle, it's going to be this point right here. It's going to be 300 right here, which is going to be 5 pi over 3. All right. So by looking at our x coordinate, which is 1/2, it's gonna be cosine of negative 17 pi over 3 is gonna be 1/2. But since this is in the fourth quadrant and cosine is positive here, leave it as positive 1/2. It's not going to be negative 1/2 because cosine in quadrant 4 is positive. So our exact answer for this is going to be 1/2.